Welcome to Fun Fashion YouTube channel. Follow me as I show you how to draft a palazzo pants. If this is your first time of dropping by, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit on the subscribe button if you have not subscribed. Turn on your notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I post a new tutorial. I've gone ahead to mark all the horizontal lines on this pattern paper. That's the pant full length with the hemming allowance. Okay, I've also gone ahead to mark the waist to knee length of the pants, the waist to the crotch line of the pants, and also the hip line. Okay, so that first line is the waistline. I'm marking 1 inch out from the paper. That will be a vertical line as the starting line. Okay, I'll go ahead and also connect the points down to the full length and the hemming allowance. We come to the waistline and mark hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1. So I have 10.75 here. Then you come to the hip line as well and mark the hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1. Okay, so you come to the crotch line and also do the same thing. Mark hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1. Then you go ahead and connect the points. Then under the crotch line, you're going to be marking the thigh measurement. So you add 2 inches to the thigh measurement, divide by 2. So I have thigh measurement of 25 plus 2 is 27, divided by 2 give me 13.5. So you go ahead and mark 13.5 here. Okay, then you divide your tape by 2 to find the midpoint of the thigh. That will be the thigh line. Okay, so I just have to measure it and take it down to the knee and to the trouser full length. That will serve as the thigh line. So go ahead and connect the points. So what you're going to do is to take these measurements down, this 13.5, take it down to form the palazzo pants. Head and connect the points. Next thing we are going to do is to create this crotch curve. Okay, and to create the curve, we are going to find the middle point of this angle 90. And to find the middle point of the angle 90, just place your curve to get the angle 90 on your curve and mark the middle point. Okay, so this is the angle 90. Okay, look for angle 90, then the midpoint is going to be where you're going to mark and create a straight line like this. So we have gotten the middle point of this angle 90. The next thing we are going to do is to come on that line and mark 0.5. Okay, to create the crotch curve. You can take 0.75 or 0.5 depending on how deep you want the crotch to be. If you want a deep crotch curve, then go for 0.5. If you don't want it to be too deep, go for 0.75. But female pants is supposed to be deep. Okay, so now that we have done that, we're going to be marking the dart. Then to mark the dart, just use the nipple to nipple measurement. Remember, we are going to be taking ½ inch here as the joining seam allowance. So mark out the ½ inch and mark the nipple to nipple point from that ½ inch that you have marked out. Mark nipple to nipple point, and for the nipple to nipple point of this measurement is 7.5. So when you divide 7.5 by 2, you have 3.75. So I'm going to mark it on the waistline as well as on the hip line. Okay, so you connect the points like so. Okay, so after that, the next thing we are going to do is to take the dart intake. So for the dart intake, we are taking 0.5 on each side of the dart line. Okay, and on the hip line, we are coming up by 1 and connect the dart intake to the 1 inch that we have marked out, like so. Okay, and now that we are done, we are going to be marking the waist measurement. And to mark the waist measurement, you measure from this point. Okay, so I'm working with waist measurement of 8 divided by 4 will give me 7. So I'll mark 7, and I'll replace this dart that I'm going to take out. So I'll measure it, which is 1 inch, and replace it here. Then the joining seam allowance, that is 1/2 inch, I'll mark it down as well. Then I will now decide how many inches I want the side to have. If I want 1 inch, I'll go ahead and mark 1 inch. If I want 1/2 inch, I'll go ahead and mark 1/2 inch. So I'm going to be taking 1 inch. So I'll connect to the hip line using a hip curve. I'll connect to the hip line. Okay, like so. This is the front block of a palazzo pant. I'm going to be adding the back block as well on this pant. Okay, so to add the back block, I'll come to the crotch curve and measure 1.5 up at that line, okay, that I marked out, the middle point of this angle 90. I'm going to be taking 1.5 from the first crotch curve, right? Not from the initial line, from the first crotch curve. If I'm adding zipper to the back of this pant, I'll come up here and measure 0.75, 0.5 or 1 inch for the zipper to lay flat at the back, okay, so that it won't budge out. But if you're not adding back zipper, you don't need to do this. So I want to extend the line, the crotch line, like so. I'm going to use the curve and connect from this point to this point, then to create the back crotch curve. So now that we are done, we are going to be adding allowance. If you can notice, we did not add any allowance to this pant, so we are going to be adding allowance to the back pants. So I'm going to be taking 3.5 and I'll take it down. After that, the next thing we are going to do is to come over to this back and add 0.5 at the back so that it will not sag. Connect it to the waistline like so. Okay, so that's it for the palazzo pants. We are now going to cut the dart. We're going to be eliminating the dart and cut the pattern on our fabric. So I'm going to cut the dart open. If you want, you can go ahead and sew your dart down, but for me, I prefer to eliminate unnecessary darts. So don't worry, you don't need to worry. Even if you don't sew the darts down, your pant is still going to come out well. Okay, take these darts on top of the other darts to close up the darts. Okay, like so, like you see me doing. Okay, you need to carefully do this to make sure that you get it right. Okay, so now that I've closed off the dart, you're going to have something like this. So I'll go ahead and redraw this line because you'll notice that the line is no longer straight. So
So go ahead and redraw the line. Okay, then redraw the other line there for the front. Okay, so remember, if you are adding band to your pants, you can go ahead and remove the band on this pants now. Okay, let's assume that you are going for 2 inches band. Go ahead and mark 1.5 inches from this pants. Okay, and remember that you are going to be needing 1/2 inch joining allowance on your pants to the band. Okay, so if you are adding band of 2 inches, remove 1.5 from this pants, so that the 1/2 inch that is left will be used to join the band onto the pants. Okay, but if it is a jumpsuit like this, now I'm working on a jumpsuit, so I'm going to be adding extra 1/2 inch at the top of this pants that I'll use to join it to the bodies. You can add it on your fabric, but I prefer adding to my paper so that once I'm cutting, I know that I'm cutting. Okay, so go ahead and add it on your paper, then we are going to be cutting. Okay, so cut the back first when we are cutting on our fabric, then trim out the back and use it to cut the front pattern. Okay, you cut the full length with the folding allowance. This is the back pattern of a palazzo pants. So we are going to be trimming the back out when we must have cut the back. Okay, then we'll use it and cut the front because we drafted the front and the back together. Okay.